another day, another retard exposed. Now, it's been quite a while since I've decided to expose this guy, Solar of Toast, but I've never really got myself, to do actually something about his ass. Now, this guy's been going around YouTube and just being horrendous. How do I even start? This guy's going around all of YouTube comment sections whenever it's related to some power scaling shit, and he's just talking some shit out of his ass, And when asked to justify it or to debate on Discord, he obviously wouldn't do nothing. So here we are. He said, obviously, is out there because of frequencies. I mean, flirtiness doesn't really require, she doesn't really need that microcosmological scaling, because she can get to outer at least, or even higher, without even using the frequency scaling. Now, I'm just going to be talking about the frequency scaling a bit, because they really do not know how to scale, right? So here are the remnants. It says a pure, a form of energy, basically, a perfect form of frequencies, and it adheres the information, which basically is its, essence, which transcends space and time, and therefore it is unchanging. It's becoming an unchanging state, And let's just talk about this implication, because if one says transcending space and time could basically entail a 4D scaling, and I'm gonna be evidentially debunking why it's not 4D, right? It's really easy, by the way. If it says transcends space and time and therefore it is immutable, then it's not entailing something that is like a higher dimensional state, or like, basically just beyond something, a conventional 3D, spatial, temporal, a continuum. But it's entailing something that's not just non-physical, but is also immutable, because there are non-physical aspects that are changeable and are constantly changing, but it entails, it did literally say that therefore, say, it carries enduring in a stable, unchanging state, because it's a conclusion of the first implication of the transcendence of space and time, right? So thereby it's implying that it is aspatial and atemporal, right? Because as how the fuck would you get something to be immutable, basically? Like, it's just a basic as deduction this community cannot comprehend, basically, which I don't fucking understand, because it's like the easiest fucking shit to ever exist. But like, it would be the last, thing to be actually used in a scaling when it comes to valuing waves, especially fleur-de-lis, because she has like infinite other fucking, outer matters. It's just really, really easy to get her to outer versa, even not using the scale. So yeah, it's kind of just bonds. Now if we get back here, actually bro, I'm gonna be, give me a second bro. The fuck? Yeah bro, this shit is fucked up bro. Yeah, so anyways, there is another poll against Mikami Satoru, which is basically remove the slime just before it's become that slime form, the blue haired, piece of shit, It's LF1 against Rimuru as a human. And so Solar of Toast said, Satoru isn't that strong, I doubt he can do anything to LF1 at all. Also, LF1 will destroy most of the slime bears by himself. Now, here's a blunder. LF1 doesn't have a gender, so this pronounce is basically just incorrect. And he said, Rimuru obviously stops him. Like, fuck you mean by him? It's not a he, him. It's not a male. And no, Rimuru would get fucking obliterated. And then I replied by saying, Rimuru is a Sigilon victim. And he said, come on, I saw you rage baiting for weeks. Yeah, I was rage baiting, in fact, just to get some people to, to debate. But that doesn't really mean that I'm not really meaning my stances. He said, nobody's taking your take seriously, not even you. If that's the case, why the fuck am I making these videos? Like, if I'm not taking myself seriously, right? I mean, I've won more debates than this guy had ever even seen, He said, Sijun gets tenderized and turned into sushi within seconds. And I knew I'm gonna make a video. I said, video is coming on about your exposure Sijun destroys. And he said, you should make a video about you being on some islands. I mean, bruh, who is this guy? Like, what's this ego, bro? Like, I mean, these are the same people saying that you shouldn't be taking power scaling that seriously. The same guy saying these things, Like, how does that make any fucking sense at any point, bro? Like, it's just pathetic. Anyways, I'm gonna be replying to him that it's in the vid, son. Yeah, so I'm just gonna be extorting these guys until they actually come and debate me, because there's no fucking way, there's just no way that they are taking themselves seriously, like, actually, bro. As for how I scale, I could actually be talking about right now about weathering based scaling, because yeah, why the fuck not? Yeah, so we have pretty much similar or at least comparable statements to Dragon Ball, but something beyond that too. But yeah, it doesn't really matter right now. It says a sphere beyond the reach of time. So Frolova, this motherfucker here, she casually created something, a fucking, a sonorosphere that lacks every notion of time. So what are these people talking about? Like, what are they saying when they're saying that shit verse cuss at like fucking street level and shit? Like, I know they're rage baiting, but some of them are actually serious, and that's really just concerning. Same with the DC dumb players saying DC caps at like fucking 5D and shit. Same with the Kratos dumb players saying that Kratos caps at fucking 3 and such, such bullshit. And these are the same people who can't actually defend nothing in a debate. Let's talk about frequencies, right? So it's been stated that everything is made up of frequencies. And yeah, we have scans for that shit. There you go. These frequencies can, incorporate actual laws of physics and shit. I'm gonna be searching for that scan as well. Where's that shit? Oh yeah, here it is. It's like a 1.0 statement. So it's really old. And you can see it can actually incorporate physical laws. But it doesn't even matter actually when we get to the parts of the void. I'm gonna be getting that shit real quick. I'm gonna be scaling Rover real quick. Not, it's just a rushed scaling. So, Lilibet said, but do you chaos isn't just a disorder, is the aggregation of all things, web cause and effects, blah, 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 infinite possibilities, if you end up lost within, use being constantly to even return. Now, Rover, this motherfucker, went on entering this, I don't fucking know, it's not something that's describable, because you can see his description is basically a shifting around between life and death, existence and nothingness. So it's not actually something existential or something that doesn't exist, but something in between. So it's like a process of becoming from something to nothing. It even says it's not a place in the physical sense, but a convergence on fucking infinite possibilities, blah 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 blah. And when it says emotions, that's because can see the future, so it's basically everything, Here, yeah, it was 2.6 or 2.7. I don't fucking know. So it's kind of new. I'm gonna be getting to the actual statements. It says, do you know, yeah, so chaos actually incorporates everything, every concept, every matter, every cause and effect. And yeah, you can see it's basically axiomatic at this point. Like, I don't even have to say anything. Like, I don't have to say anything because it's just so obvious. If this shit is not blatantly Outerverse for one, I don't even know what could be considered possibly Outerverse, you know. Matter of the fact, if you get back to Rover, you will see that it's pretty easy to scale them. Yeah, so it says it's not nothing less. Yeah, that was my game name for quite a while. All along, it's represented a future that can be defined by anything but your own will. Like, Rover is, as I've said, like, I've been tending to this proposition, but Rover is the predecessor of everything in Solaris. So it's kind of just a dumb play to call them anything below, like fucking outer plus. But it's really just the low end. You know, said as long as that void exists, you control your story, your existence is the meaning itself. I don't have to say anything because it's speaking for itself. With that said, an unknowable fate, something that cannot be, you know, determined or be determined only by itself, you know. Void by knowing is nothingness, yeah, we know that. Blah, 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 blah. Boundless possibility. It's not. It doesn't scale to boundless just because it says boundless. It's basically about its infinite of nature. But yeah. You can see, I know Avidius likes to exaggerate things, but it's actually, you know, something that's undefined and unknowable, because there was basically nothing about the chaos. It just appeared, kind of swallowed everything, and it was only done when Rover basically ended it with their self-sufficient nature. So they've said, if life is destined to follow a predetermined path, does it even matter if we know our fate? They said it's predetermined, right? So that means there must be a first cause to actually establish a possibility, which then was overdetermined by Rover, because their future was to die, you know, the fall of Septimons, as it's been shown right here. The death of Augusta and the absolute dissolvence of And she even confirmed it by saying that her prophecies are never wrong, so denying this shit is basically just a contradiction to the story. And after Rover had altered everything, now here are some more scans. The chaos was the undeniable truth, a logical necessity, basically. Existence is anchored in blah 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 blah. So existence was manifesting from this determination. Yeah, you can see it's been confirmed once again. Yeah, the usual. And so, if that's the case, and Rover had changed it, like the entire void and chaos, then what's left? One would ask. You can see she said, "Oh, the void are already perfect." So Rover had not only overdetermined the future of something that anchors existence, but like the entire basically the entire chaos, which has a first cause, so thereby reducing its absolute casual power and granting it to Rover. So it's kind of just retarded to have Rover anything below high 1A, but I'm gonna be further proving this proposition. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna be showing some more scans of the cosmology. You can see. Countless overlapping spaces. It's extrinsic to the soul tree, so it's an external cosmology. I mean, not external, obviously internal to the universe, but external to Solar's tree, which I was getting so far. So anybody saying this shit is just a planet and this planetary is just fucking retarded, it's just beyond saving. But yeah, you can see that even Solaris has a pretty good cosmology. So here's a thing about the chaos. It's been stated that it can actually generate logical contradictions, but I can't fucking find the scan. I just don't know where it is. Oh my fucking god, bro. I'm lost in the scans. Yeah, I can fucking... Bro, where is this shit? Yeah, by the way, this can proves that Shorekeeper is a primordial being, just like Rover. Where's that shit, man? Oh my god. The fuck? Yeah, so this server of mine is basically everything my server had created. All the arguments, all the scans, everything. I'm just, just throwing them here and shit good. So those infinite possibilities, you can see countless possibilities, both true and not true. This is chaos. Now, even though most of these possibilities, except one which is being established, are non-logically indeterminate in nature, you can see it can capture both true and false, ergo logically possible and impossible words. And yeah, Rover had ended it, so that's high on A plus. There is no such, cardinal existence, which could be anything but internal to Rover's void. It's not even a messy scaling, it's just too easy, bro. Like it's been a year since I think Wuthering Waves has gotten to 1A, and ever since then it's just proving out the other methods for Audioverso. Like for example, if I get to here, yeah, there are ready arguments for cosmic egg, some mythological motif, remnant explained as the quintessential property. By the way, if they are saying that, they do not buy that remnant is Audioverso, they would say that this shit is like fucking atom level, like how retarded one could be. Bro, fuck. I don't fucking know what's going on. Yeah, the screen is black. Oh my fucking god, bro. Yeah, if one would ask, how do the characters scale to the remnants? And that's the Honami statement I was talking about in an earlier video. Day 136, abnormal pressure. It says, among the supplies Chiza brought back today was a can of oranges, the label printed with a production date long past. But that hardly matters anymore. These so-called foods are really just compressed remnant energy. So, yeah, these characters, every single one of them scales about the microcosmology. That's why I would be, trolling by saying that Vuvu NPC is solo fiction and shit. I don't really mean it, but they actually scale high, you know. And so there was a statement as well which says, I'm gonna get it soon. Where's that shit? It said, now I find myself in an unfamiliar city, having just endured a grotesque waiting. Blah, blah, blah. It slides through buildings, slides through humans, slides through space itself, cutting through everything two-dimensional and three-dimensional. Even things of higher dimensions, through my naked eye, can no longer distinguish them. And it actually just proves that frequencies are free to capture an amount of dimensionality or substance or state that, you know, corresponds to any n-dimensional plane of existence. So essentially just proving that frequencies can capture any dimensional existence, and that's the remnant, which said it transcends space and time, which is the, you know, the perfect form of frequencies, would therefore be autoversal. So you cannot really get Wuthering Waves below autoversal, and that's a bare ass minimum. Like that's a really low ball. And I'm not even using like Taoism and shit. It's basically just the cosmology. So it's nothing special actually. If I were to go back to why am I making this video, there's this Solaire of those guy. Now I don't know if he's gonna see this video or not, but I'm pretty sure he will one day. Check on my main account and notice that I've been talking about him. If you see this video, congratulations. It's because, I don't know, bro, I'm just tired of you people. Like, what would it take you, any of you, to just add me, you know, from my bio and just debate? Like, I'm not even trying to beef or any of that shit. I just want to debate if you disagree. I don't have no time for this YouTube shit. In the meanwhile, he replied, because I've said that it's in the video. He has the island part. Yeah, the island part too. Yeah, so that's all for this video today. There are some other people I want to be talking about later on. For example, there's this Islamophobic guy by the name of Saitama is the best anime protagonist. Yeah. His YouTube name is The Punch to Transcend Fiction. Like, this guy actually believes that Azathoth is stronger than Yog-Sothoth, which is a false statement. I mean, he really does believe that Azathoth is stronger than Yog-Sothoth, which is just retarded. But it's really easy to, you know, just disprove his statements. He said, daily reminder, you don't fight Azathoth. It's like fighting the foundation of what holds fiction together. That's dumb. So I could be using Theo's debunk on this. Theo. What his YouTube name is? Yeah, Italian with kebab. Italian with kebab 8396. That's his YouTube tag. I could actually make a video about debunking as a thought and scaling Yokes thought higher, but this video scheme is not about that, so it will be all that for today, I guess so. And see y'all later, I guess. Maybe in a later video.